Power is a strange, often elusive thing. It resides not just in wealth, titles, or influence, but in perception, in the ability to control how others see you and respond to you. One of the most delicate, yet incredibly effective ways to protect your position and unsettle your opponents is found in Law 38 from the 48 Laws of Power: think as you like but behave like others. It's a strategy rooted in human nature's deep craving for familiarity, and its equally deep suspicion of what feels foreign, different, or difficult to categorize. From the moment we're born, society teaches us to belong, to fit in, to share values and rituals, to align ourselves with a tribe. That instinct is wired into us for survival, and it hasn't changed much despite the modern world's embrace of individualism. The uncomfortable truth is that those who appear too different often become targets of ridicule, suspicion, or exclusion. It's not necessarily because their ideas lack merit, but because human beings instinctively resist what threatens the comfort of the familiar. Yet, people often make the fatal mistake of believing that showing their uniqueness, their rebellion, or their superior intellect will earn them admiration. Sometimes it does, but more often it isolates them. Socrates was sentenced to death not just for his philosophies, but because he challenged the norms of his time too openly. Galileo was persecuted for daring to suggest a truth the church wasn't ready to hear. The masses rarely reward those who openly mock or ignore their customs. Power operates within the fabric of society, not in open defiance of it. This law isn't about suppressing your beliefs or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding timing, strategy, and survival. You can think however you wish in private. Your inner world is your own. But in public, when among groups, when navigating delicate hierarchies, it is often wiser to show alignment, to blend in, to signal that you understand the rules of the game, even if you're quietly plotting to change them later. The most cunning and powerful individuals in history have mastered this balance. They learned to wear a mask, to smile at customs they found ridiculous, to raise a glass to beliefs they privately dismissed, all while carefully advancing their agendas behind the scenes. It's not hypocrisy, it's strategy. Knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to nod along and when to plant a disruptive idea disguised as harmless conversation. Consider the story of Queen Elizabeth I. She ruled a deeply divided England torn between Catholic and Protestant factions. Privately, her beliefs were more moderate and pragmatic, but she outwardly played the part of a devout Protestant monarch, attending ceremonies and speaking the language of the prevailing faith. In doing so, she preserved her reign, kept peace, and only made moves to shift the religious balance when it was safe and politically advantageous. In contrast, those who brazenly flaunt their uniqueness often invite unnecessary enemies. A person who loudly criticizes a tradition at a family gathering, a worker who publicly mocks a company's culture, or a newcomer who immediately challenges established norms, all may be right in principle but wrong in practice. The social order, however flawed, tends to punish those who openly disturb it without first securing their power. Blending in also serves as a powerful form of camouflage. By appearing harmless, aligned, or even unremarkable, you can move undetected while observing the true nature of others. It allows you to gather information, study rival factions, and wait for the perfect moment to act without exposing yourself to premature attacks. Many great strategists have succeeded not by being the loudest or most visibly radical, but by quietly influencing the right people while the spotlight fell on others. At the same time, there's undeniable allure in being perceived as different, but this must be carefully managed. If you wish to set yourself apart, let it be in ways that don't threaten the order of things. Be known for your skills, your charm, your insight, qualities admired even within conservative settings. Make your uniqueness a strength that benefits the group rather than one that alienates it. A brilliant strategist gives people what they expect while quietly preparing what they'll eventually accept. Timing, as always, is everything. There are moments when challenging convention is necessary and even celebrated. Social revolutions, artistic breakthroughs, and technological shifts often begin with a few daring individuals. But those moments are rare and dangerous. It is the height of folly to assume every environment is ripe for disruption. A wise operator reads the room, senses the mood, and knows whether to roar or whisper. Another advantage of behaving like others is that it frees you from the exhausting need to constantly defend your difference. When you signal alignment, people tend to lower their guard. Conversations become more open, opportunities to influence increase, and doors unlock that would otherwise remain closed to an obvious outsider. You gain access to networks, resources, and alliances that only insiders enjoy, all while keeping your true thoughts quietly your own. This law also speaks to emotional intelligence, to understanding the unspoken rules of human interaction. Every group, whether a small circle of friends or an entire nation, has its rituals, taboos, and expectations. Ignoring them, even accidentally, can cost you dearly. But by observing them outwardly, you show respect for the tribe's identity, even if you privately question its wisdom. Of course, this is not a call to abandon your integrity or betray your values. It is a strategy for navigating the treacherous waters of human power dynamics. There's a difference between hypocrisy and discretion. Between abandoning one's beliefs and choosing when and where to express them. The most enduring influence comes from those who understand that persuasion often requires patience and camouflage. There's an old proverb, if you want to live in Rome, do as the Romans do. It's advice as old as civilization itself because it acknowledges a basic truth, that power is not only about leading but about surviving long enough to lead. Blend in, listen, learn, adapt. And when the moment is right, when your position is unassailable, when your alliances are secure, then you may reveal the full depth of your convictions and reshape the world in their image. Until that moment, keep your inner world intact and your outer world agreeable. Let people see what they wish to see, while you quietly become what you need to be. In doing so, you avoid unnecessary battles, protect your position, and preserve your influence for when it truly matters. This is not cowardice. It is strategy in its purest, most patient form. And those who master it walk through the world unseen but unstoppable.